I know you take good care of Meadow, Paul's daughter.
She takes good care of me. To see her with my children is one of the most beautiful things.
He played the tough guy, talked about family, made millions of fans love him. But behind the sunglasses and fast cars, Vin Diesel was hiding something people didn't know. For years, Meadow Walker stayed quiet. She was Paul Walker's daughter, the girl in the background, until now. In a calm but honest moment, she finally told the truth about Vin Diesel. What she shared stunned everyone. Was it love? Was the relationship between Vin and Meadow as perfect as it seemed? Are there things we don't know? And what really happened in the years after Paul passed away that changed the dynamics behind the scenes? This is more than a movie, and the truths are more unsettling than you think. Let's get right into this video. They were more than just co-stars. The brotherhood between Paul Walker and Vin Diesel. When you hear the names Paul Walker and Vin Diesel, you probably think about the Fast and Furious movies, right? But the story of these two guys goes way deeper than just cars and action scenes. Behind the camera, they were like real brothers. Paul and Vin met back in 2000 while filming the first Fast and Furious. They quickly became best friends. Both loved cars, action, and working hard. But what really brought them close was how much they cared about family. They believed in loyalty and keeping their lives private. Vin gave Paul the nickname Pablo to show how close they were. Vin has said that Paul helped him grow as a person, especially when it comes to fatherhood. Before Vin had his own daughter, he wasn't sure if he was ready, but seeing how Paul loved and cared for his daughter Meadow gave him hope. Paul didn't brag about being a dad, but he made sure to spend lots of time with Meadow, even changing his work plans for her. When Vin found out he was going to be a dad, the first person he told was Paul. To honor him, Vin even named his youngest daughter Pauline. He said he thought of Paul while cutting the umbilical cord. That's how much he meant to him. So when Paul passed away in a car accident in 2013, it was a huge blow for Vin. He said it felt like losing a part of himself. However, Vin didn't just mourn alone. He stepped up to help Paul's family, especially Meadow, who was only 15 at the time. Vin calls Meadow his goddaughter and has been there for her ever since. Over time, Paul and Vin went from being co-stars to best friends and finally family. After Paul passed, Vin didn't try to replace him. Instead, he chose to honor Paul by being a father figure and a mentor to Meadow. Every year, Vin posts about Paul to keep his memory alive. That's what made Fast and Furious more than just movies about cars. It was about real friendship, love, and loyalty. Even after Paul's death, their brotherhood lives on through memories and promises. Paul Walker was loved by many, but most people didn't really know the man behind the fame. So, who was the real Paul Walker before the fast cars and red carpets? And what legacy did he leave? Stay with us as we dive deeper into this video. Before the fame, the early life of Paul Walker. Before the spotlight, fast cars, and the world knowing him as Brian O'Connor, Paul Walker was just a sun-kissed California boy with messy blonde hair. Paul William Walker IV was born on September 12, 1973, in Glendale, California. His family wasn't Hollywood royalty. His father, Paul Walker III, was a sewer contractor with rough hands and a fighter's spirit. Literally, he was once a Golden Gloves boxer. His mother, Cheryl, was a beautiful fashion model with a big smile and strong beliefs. Paul was the oldest of 5 kids in a tight Christian Mormon household. He had 3 brothers and a sister, and he grew up learning how to fix things, pray before dinner, and protect his siblings like a real big brother should. What people don't always know is that Paul didn't even want to be a movie star. He started acting when he was just 2, not because he wanted to, but because his mom thought he'd look good in diaper commercials. And he did. He was a natural. He went from Pampers advertisements to small TV roles in shows like Charles in Charge, Highway to Heaven, and Touched by an Angel. But fame never changed him. Even when he started appearing in movies in the 90s like Varsity Blues and Pleasantville, he stayed grounded. You'd more likely find Paul fixing up a car in his garage or surfing in Malibu than hanging out at a Hollywood party. Here's what's really surprising. Paul's real dream was to become a marine biologist. He looked up to Jacques Cousteau. Yeah, you heard right, the famous ocean explorer. Paul studied marine biology in community college, and he never lost his love for the ocean throughout his whole life. In fact, in 2006, he joined National Geographic on a real-life shark expedition for Expedition Great White. He helped tag great white sharks off the coast of Mexico. Not many actors can say that, but Paul could. He felt just as at home swimming with sharks in a wetsuit as he did driving fast cars on screen. Eventually, his big break came in 2001 with The Fast and the Furious. But even after he became famous, Paul didn't act like a big star. He stayed easygoing, kind, and more excited about cars than cameras. He truly loved driving, not just in movies, but in real life. He had a personal collection of over 30 cars, including a rare Nissan Skyline GT-R R34, just like the one his character Brian drove in the films. Apart from films, he was also a businessman. He co-owned a car shop called Always Evolving. It wasn't just a place to fix cars. They built fast, powerful race cars and even competed in professional races. Paul was hands-on with everything. He worked on engines, helped design cars, and even raced them. He didn't just act like a car guy. He really was one, with oil on his hands and a love for speed in his heart. Besides cars, Paul had a passion for helping people. After traveling to Haiti to help with earthquake relief in 2010, he started a charity called Reach Out Worldwide. It's a group that sends skilled volunteers like doctors, nurses, and rescue workers to places hit by disasters like earthquakes, floods, and storms. Paul believed in doing more than just writing a check. He showed up, got involved, and encouraged others to do the same. Even after his passing, his charity is still active and helping people around the world. However, Paul's greatest pride was his daughter, Meadow Walker. Born in 1998, she lived in Hawaii with her mom until she was 13. Then she moved in with Paul in California. That wasn't just a change in address because it changed everything. Paul said he finally felt like a complete man when he could make Meadow breakfast every day. He didn't want just to be a weekend dad. He wanted to be her hero, not just on screen, but at home. And he was planning to take a long break from acting right before he passed, just to spend more time with her. Paul never cared about being famous. What really mattered to him was the ocean, his daughter, and cars. Vin Diesel always respected that. But here's where things get interesting. Years after Paul passed away, his daughter Meadow started sharing more about her life with him. She posts pictures, memories, and little things to show how much he meant to her. One person who's always been there for her is Vin. He stepped in like a second dad. He made promises and stayed close to her. But some people started asking, did Vin do enough or did he go too far? Stay with us, because next, we're going to talk about the real Vin Diesel, not the movie star, but the man behind it all, and how Meadow may have felt deep down, even if she didn't say it out loud. From Mark Sinclair to Vin Diesel, the making of a street king. Before he was Vin Diesel, the street king of Fast and Furious, he was just a kid named Mark Sinclair. He was born on July 18, 1967, in Alameda County, California. But he didn't stay there long. After his parents split, his mom moved him and his twin brother Paul to New York. They were raised by their mom, Delora, and her new husband, Irving Vincent. Irving wasn't his real dad, but he was a theater teacher and treated Mark like his own. That's where the acting dream first started. Vin never met his biological father, not once. And even though he doesn't talk about it much, you can feel the weight of that silence. That missing piece shaped how he saw family, love, and loyalty. He once said that family isn't always blood, and he's lived by that ever since. Vin got his first acting job most unexpectedly. When he was just 7 years old, he and some friends broke into a theater with plans to vandalize it. But instead of calling the cops, the theater manager gave them scripts and told them to act in a play. That one moment changed everything. As a teenager, Vin worked as a nightclub bouncer to make ends meet. That's when the name Vin Diesel was born. Vin came from Vincent, his stepfather's last name. Diesel came from his friends, who said he was always full of energy, like a diesel engine that never stopped. However, Hollywood didn't welcome him right away. His mixed-race background made it hard for casting directors to figure out where he fit in. So Vin decided to create his own spotlight. He made a short film called Multifacial, about a struggling actor who couldn't land roles because of his look. That short film made its way to Steven Spielberg, and just like that, Vin was cast in Saving Private Ryan. But his real breakout moment came in 2001 when he became Dominic Toretto in The Fast and the Furious. That role didn't just make him a star, it turned him into a legend. On screen, he was all about speed, strength, and family. Off-screen, he was just a man trying to protect the people he loved. Vin is very private, but here's something most people don't know. He's been with the same woman for over 15 years, Paloma Jimenez, a stunning Mexican model. They have 3 kids together named Hania, Vincent, and Pauline. Vin keeps them far from the spotlight, just like his late friend, Paul Walker, did with his daughter, Meadow. After Paul died in 2013, Vin stepped in as a father figure to Meadow. Vin Diesel didn't just become a star, he built himself into one. From the streets of New York to the streets of Fast and Furious, he turned pain into power and loss into love. And through it all, one thing stayed true. He never turned his back on family. Vin Diesel's role in Meadow Walker's life. On November 30th, 2013, something very sad happened. Paul Walker was riding in a car with his friend when the car crashed and caught fire. Neither of them made it. Paul was only 40 years old. The news shocked everyone. But the one special person it hurt the most was his 15-year-old daughter, Meadow. She didn't just lose her dad that day, she lost her best friend, her protector, and the person who meant everything to her. Meadow is Paul's only child with Rebecca Soteros, and for most of Meadow's early life, she lived with her mom in Hawaii. Life there was quiet, far from the cameras and bright lights. But when Meadow turned 13, she made a big move. She wanted to be close to her father, so she moved in with her dad in California. It was a fresh start for both of them. Paul had always loved being a father, but now he finally had the chance to be there for all the small things like school mornings, birthdays, and dinner talks. He was even planning to slow down on acting just so he could spend more time with her. For Paul, Meadow wasn't just his daughter, she was his whole world. But then, that life changed in an instant. After Paul passed away, Vin Diesel quietly stepped in. He didn't make a big deal about it. He was just there, checking on Meadow, spending time with her, and letting her know she was still surrounded by love. He invited her to hang out with his own children. He made her feel like family. Vin has said that he felt like Paul gave him a job to watch over Meadow, and seeing her with his children is one of the most beautiful things to happen to him. He didn't try to replace Paul. He just wanted to be someone Meadow could count on. As the years went by, people started to notice how close they had become. Meadow would go with Vin to red carpet events and spend time with his kids. Vin called her his niece, but anyone could see their bond was strong, like a real family. And in 2021, something beautiful happened. Meadow got married to Louis Thornton Allen at a simple beach wedding in the Dominican Republic. And it was Vin who walked her down the aisle. He wore a light blue suit, and she held his arm with a big smile. That moment touched so many hearts. Vin wasn't taking Paul's place. He was standing there for him, with love and respect. Since then, Vin has supported Meadow in many ways. He cheers for her modeling work and shares her projects online. He also helps support the Paul Walker Foundation, which helps kids and protects the ocean, things Paul cared about deeply. Vin once said it took time to learn how to be there for Meadow the right way. Grief is hard, and there's no one right thing to do. But Vin stayed close, quietly and gently, year after year. For him, honoring Paul meant taking care of Meadow, even when no one was watching. What did Meadow really feel about Vin stepping in as a father figure? Was it something she wanted, or something she had to accept? Did it help with the pain, or bring new feelings she didn't talk about? And how did all of this lead her back into the world her dad left behind? Meadow Walker joined Fast and Furious and sparked a storm. After her father passed away, Meadow started something close to her heart on what was supposed to be Paul's 42nd birthday, the Paul Walker Foundation. It focuses on ocean life, animals, and helping young people. It's a side of Paul that many fans didn't always see. Through the foundation, Meadow kept her father's memory alive without making noise. However, in 2023, something changed. Fast X hit the big screen, and in one small but powerful moment, Meadow appeared on camera. She played a flight attendant. Her scene lasted only a few seconds, but people noticed, and it made many fans happy. For them, it wasn't about how long she was on screen. It was about what that moment meant. Meadow had quietly stepped into the world her dad once ruled, and she did it her way. She didn't say much about it online. She didn't make a big deal out of it. That's how she's always been. Quiet, respectful, and private. And in that moment, it was clear. Meadow wasn't there for fame. She was there for family. But her few seconds on screen made headlines, and sensational blogs ran with rumors. This led to so many questions and speculations. Do you think Meadow truly want that cameo? Or was it part of someone else's plan? What does she really think about Vin? And is she finally ready to speak her truth? The controversies that tried to break Meadow and Vin apart. When Fast X came out in 2023, fans thought they had seen it all, from the wild car chases and surprise character returns to wild action scenes. But what no one expected was the huge drama caused by Meadow Walker's very short role in the movie. Meadow appeared on screen for just a few seconds as a flight attendant. It was a small moment, but it started a big drama online. At first, many fans were happy to see her. It felt like a nice way to remember Paul and keep his memory alive. Vin Diesel even shared the clip proudly, and in an interview he shared how proud would have been. It didn't end there. Other stars like Jordana Brewster and Tyrese Gibson showed their support. It looked like a sweet, full-circle moment. But soon, things changed. Some people started asking tough questions. Was Meadow's cameo a true tribute to Paul? Or was it just a clever marketing move to pull at fans' emotions and sell more tickets? Critics said Meadow didn't really earn the role on her own. Instead, they called it Hollywood playing nepotism because of her famous family. Social media was buzzing with arguments. YouTube videos, Reddit threads, and fan pages debated whether Meadow was there to honor her dad or just to help the studio. Then, the drama took a darker turn. Rumors began about Meadow's close relationship with Vin Diesel. Since Paul's death, Vin had taken care of Meadow like family, supporting her through the tough times. Unfortunately, online speculation began to circulate, leading to misleading and inappropriate assumptions. One widely circulated rumor suggested that Vin Diesel had formally adopted Meadow after Paul's passing, though there's no official confirmation. Social media ran wild with claims that Vin had taken legal guardianship. Misleading headlines added fuel to the fire, and soon, many fans were left wondering what was real and what wasn't. Others accused him of using Meadow's image to get sympathy or look like a hero to the fans. They wondered if their closeness was real or just something made up for the cameras. The internet got ugly with these theories, but Meadow stayed silent. She didn't answer the rumors or argue online. Instead, she focused on her modeling career, her charity work with the Paul Walker Foundation, and quietly keeping her father's legacy alive. The truth is more complicated. Meadow has always kept her life private. She tries to stay far from all the drama and gossip. So, is Meadow stuck in Hollywood's power struggles? Or is she quietly making her own way, building a life separate from all the chaos? And what does she really think about Vin Diesel, the cameo, and the legacy she's carrying? The truth about Vin Diesel, her father, and the life fans never saw. For a long time, Meadow Walker didn't speak much in public about her life after her father passed away. People saw photos and posts with Vin Diesel, but no one really knew the full story. In a recent interview and through heartfelt posts on Instagram, Meadow finally opened up. She didn't say a lot, but what she shared said everything. She took to Instagram to post pictures with Vin's children and captioned it "Family Forever." Not just because they worked together or because of Hollywood, but because he had always been there for her through every important moment in her life. When Meadow got married in 2021, she didn't have a big celebrity wedding. It was small and private, held in the Dominican Republic. And when it was time to walk down the aisle, it wasn't a friend or a relative giving her away, it was Vin Diesel. He stood by her side like a second father, not for attention, but because he truly cared. In addition, Vin's eldest daughter, Hania, was her chief bridesmaid. This shows just how close their bond is. Vin has also shown his love for Meadow in quiet ways. On Paul Walker's birthday, he once posted a simple message, telling Meadow how proud he was of her. It wasn't part of a press tour or movie promotion. It was just love from someone who had been there for her when she needed support the most. Many fans thought Meadow's short role in Fast X was something the studio asked her to do, but she made it clear it was her idea. She wanted to be part of her father's world. Even though her scene was very brief, it meant a lot to her. It was her way of connecting with Paul's memory and honoring the movies that were such a big part of his life. Her family fully supported her decision. Paul's brother, Cody Walker, even praised Vin Diesel for stepping in and being there for Meadow after her father passed away. That quiet support helped give her the strength she needed. As for the adoption rumors, they aren't true. Meadow still uses her father's last name, Walker, and there's no official record of any adoption. Besides, it doesn't seem like something Vin Diesel would do just for show. Their bond has always been about love, not legal titles. Vin cares deeply about her, and their bond is real and strong. Vin and Meadow never wasted time reacting to the wild stories. They didn't go online to clear up every rumor. Instead, they stayed focused on what mattered, living with purpose, and showing love through their actions, not words. Their bond wasn't something they needed to explain. It was built on real trust and quiet care, like family who simply show up for each other. Growing up as the daughter of a famous actor isn't easy. Meadow has felt the weight of that spotlight, but through it all, she's stayed grounded. She chooses what to share and what to protect. Everything she does still ties back to one thing: honoring her dad. While Vin, on the other hand, has always handled their connection with care. When he posts about Paul or Meadow, it's not for headlines, but because the love is real, and he wants the world to remember that. So what was the dark secret people had been talking about for years? There wasn't one. Meadow's words showed the truth. Vin Diesel had been nothing but loving and protective toward her. There was no drama. They were just two people brought together by loss, who became family in the most real way, reminding us that family isn't always about blood. Sometimes it's about who stays, who shows up, and who loves you no matter what. The rumors were never true, and now the truth is finally clear. Paul Walker's legacy, a light that still shines. Even after all these years, Paul Walker's presence is still felt, not just in the Fast and Furious films, but in real life. Though he's no longer with us, the world he helped build hasn't let go. The franchise made a powerful decision after his passing. They didn't write off his character, Brian O'Connor, as expected. Instead, they let him live on in the story. In the Fast world, Brian is still out there, raising his kids, enjoying family dinners, and driving into the sunset. In Fast X, there's even a quiet moment where his empty seat is shown at the table. In the final scene, a blue Nissan Skyline pulls into the driveway, the same kind of car Paul loved, both on and off screen. It was their way of saying, Brian's still here, Paul's still here. Behind the scenes, his legacy is just as powerful. Reach Out Worldwide, the charity Paul started in 2010, is still doing big things. His brother Cody helps run it now, And as of 2024, they've helped in over 70 major disasters, from hurricanes to wildfires to earthquakes. They send in doctors, rescue teams, and builders when others can't move fast enough. Paul never wanted attention for this. He just wanted to help, and that same quiet spirit still drives the group today. At the same time, his love for cars lives on through Fuel Fest, an international car event Cody leads, where fans and racers from all over gather to honor Paul and raise money for the cause he believes in. In Hollywood, his absence is still deeply felt and deeply honored. Vin never lets a year pass without posting a tribute. He even named his daughter after him. Vin once described Paul as his other half, and it's clear the loss continues to deeply affect him. Paul was the heart of the family. Even Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who had his issues with the franchise, once called Paul one of the most genuine people he'd ever met. The fans haven't let go either. All over the world, they hold Paul Walker memorial rides, driving their souped-up cars through city streets in his memory. In places like Japan, Brazil, and even South Africa, murals of Paul cover walls. Online, fan pages still post his quotes and scenes from his old movies. These aren't just small gestures. There are signs that Paul's impact was real, deep, and lasting. He didn't just play a hero, he lived like one. Paul's legacy isn't just about speed, cars, or even movies. It's about kindness, action, love. So when people ask what Paul Walker left behind, the answer is simple. He left a world that still misses him and still moves because of him. Of course, with Meadow's cameo in Fast X, fans have begun to wonder if that moment is just the beginning, and they want to know if she will return to the franchise. Could she be stepping into something bigger? So far, there's no official word. And as for her relationship with Vin, it's exactly what it appears to be. A bond rooted in protection, respect, and shared grief over the man they both loved deeply. And now, as Meadow slowly opens up and finds her own voice, one thing is clear. She's not here to play a role in someone else's story. She's here to write her own. But now, with Meadow stepping into the spotlight and the Fast family still honoring Paul's memory so strongly, the big questions remain. How will Paul Walker's legacy shape the future of the franchise? Can Meadow carry the torch and bring a new chapter to the story? And most importantly, how do we keep the spirit of family, kindness, and courage alive in a world that's always changing? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. If you enjoyed this video, click on the next video on your screen.